One of the brothers is asking, what do you think about Arab countries not supporting Palestine? Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Ya akhi, we say, may Allah reward you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put rulers for us, Muslim rulers, and people of authority, other than just the rulers, those that are under the rulers. Not just that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has bestowed upon us scholars of Islam. You have people that are the head of judicial systems. You have people that are head of fatwas. You have people in Hay'at Kibar al-Ulama. These are the people that speak, the people that can make a change. Not you and I. You and I, what can we do? What do we say? Actually, ya akhi, you and I, I talk about myself, an ignorant person like me, a beginner student of knowledge, Allah al-Musta'an, even if I can call myself a student of knowledge, if he indulges in such situations, he's gonna make mistakes. We are talking about the biggest and most dangerous and critical matters of the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal. Allah commanded us in the Quran to go back to the people of authority and the scholars. This is exactly what Allah told us in the Quran. So how is it you or I are from the scholars and the big scholars and the people of authority? Ya akhi, some of the people that speak about these matters, if I would give him a grocery shop, he wouldn't even be able to run it. If I gave him a school, a university, he's not gonna be able to run it, and he's gonna make so many mistakes, and he might bankrupt the whole institution. So how come is it that these people are now gonna talk about the bloodshed and the lives of hundreds of millions of Muslims or millions of Muslims? Wallahi, even if it was one Muslim. How do we give ourselves the right and the authority to do so? It's not our position. It's not our job to interfere and get into how to govern the Muslim Ummah and what do countries need to do with one another and their foreign affairs with no knowledge whatsoever, even in the deen of Allah Azza wa Jal. Ya akhwa, for someone to indulge in a matter like this, he needs to be on the level of Salih al-Fawzan. He needs to be on the level of Abdul Muhsin al-Abbad. He needs to be on the level of the Mufti of Saudiya, Sheikh Al-Allama AbdulAziz Al-Shaykh. And they are all ulama and allamas. Salih Al-Shaykh, for example. You want on that caliber. On that caliber. A Mufti of Mecca, the Mufti of Medina. You want someone on that caliber. But you and I, or others that are indulging in this matter, ya akhi, bring it back to the people of authority. They know what affairs are internally and externally, and foreign affairs and this and that. It's not our position. It's like you're coming to me and saying, AbdulAziz, what do you think about the recent heart surgery that has to do? Heart surgery? What do I have to do with heart surgery? Even if I was a pharmacist, let's say, I have nothing to do. Even if I studied a little bit of medicine, I have nothing to do with heart transplants or surgery. It's not our position. Ya akhi, sometimes we go to a doctor that's treating us for our stomach, for example, and you say, well, my bones have been hurting. Instantly he takes you to what? To an what do you call them? Orthopedics or orthodontist or something like this. The doctor for bones. He says, this is not my specialty. And he studied over 10 years medicine. And he tells you, it's not my place to speak. You say my throat, he says, go ENT. It's not our place. What is going on nowadays? And I say, ya ikhwa, let's humble ourselves and know our place. Let's humble ourselves and know our place. Somebody comes and starts talking about such matters. Wallahi, ya ikhwa, if we were to tell this brother, we say, ya akhi, you're indulging in this matter. You're talking about the most dangerous of matters. The most dangerous of matters you are talking about right now. And not just in general. You're talking even specifically and naming people and naming organizations and rulers and governments and I don't know what and this and that. Say, Ya akhi, what is your qualification? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you if you sat down and you brought to the 40 Nawawi hadith of Imam ibn Uthaymeen and started teaching it, if you are able to, of course. Alhamdulillah, this is good. Or translating it, Allahumma barik. But for you to come and to start speaking and making yourself an authority in such matters, what is your position? Are you known in fatwa within the Muslim scholars? And if we were to go to a Muslim scholar and we say, there's someone called so and so, he's talking about these matters, he would know you and he would say, yeah, na'am, take fatwa from him, he's one of the ulama of our time. What? The catastrophe is, what if we actually ask you something that is for beginner students of knowledge? Focus with me. What if I ask you something for a beginner student of knowledge and you don't know how to answer it? It's a shame on you to be speaking about these things. Shame. It's shameful. If somebody might come and say, AbdulAziz, what about you? What if I ask you something for a beginner student of knowledge and you don't know how to answer it? I say, Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Then I am a beginner student of knowledge. And I say it loud and clear. I am a nobody. Don't put me next to the mashayikh or the ulama or the nobody, beginner student of knowledge, trying to translate stuff, trying to study and share whatever teeny, unmentionable efforts that I'm trying to convey. What did this alim say, and study this and study that and convey it in English. Never have I ever come here and said governments should do, countries should do, and indulge in the gravest and greatest of matters. This is you. You are the one who's indulging in this, not me. So this question, you cannot come to this question and bring it to somebody else. You say, brother so-and-so, you are teaching and you do not know this beginner thing. He never claimed he's one of the scholars or indulged in the biggest matters of the deen that have to do with policy and has to do with the bloodshed of Muslims and started telling that people are wrong and these people are traitors and this and that and what's going on nowadays from the circus that we are seeing nowadays. You understand? So when we say we want to test somebody like this, the point is that if you are not on that level, why are you pretending to be, and why do you say anything regarding it? Because you're only going to spread misguidance and make mistakes. But if you sat down and you started teaching the important lessons or translating the explanation of Riyadh al-Salihin for Sheikh Abdul-Razzaq al-Badr, for example, or you chose the explanation of 3 fundamental principles of Sheikh Abdul-Razzaq al-Badr, you translated it, you studied it, you went back to the mashayikh, asked questions, and whatever you know, you delivered to the people. We say, Jazakallahu khairah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. We're not going to come and test you and say you are this and you are that and somebody, he's doing the best to the best of his ability. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward him. He's spreading goodness. But when you make yourself an authority, this is something else. When you start indulging in the gravest of matters, this is something else. When you are replying to the ulama, this is something else. And especially when you are not going back to the ulama. So simply, ya ikhwa, go back to the people of ilm and the people of authority and the people of specialty in the field that you are asking about. You're talking about building, go to architects and engineers. You're talking about medicine, then the doctors. You're talking about religion, the scholars. We're talking about politics, you have rulers and ministers and. These are the people of the field. Like, what about the Islamic view on this medical case? Then you go to the doctor, to the scholars. And when it is a grave matter, you go to the big scholars, not anybody. Not whoever has an account on social media and he starts speaking about anything and everything. No. So Barakallahu feek. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. I hope that this answers your question, and I hope that this يعني sheds some light on this subject. Shed some light on this subject. We make dua for all our brothers. Wallahi, we make dua for all our brothers. And whatever we can, wallahi, we won't hesitate to help. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we make dua to them. We make in that which we are capable of. If we see someone in need of money, for example, and we know that the money is going to reach this person, we give him money in the way of Allah Azza wa Jal. We help. But to cause enmity, diversion, split between the Muslims and spread enmity and start calling one another this and that, since when did we become scholars and rulers and people in authority, and now we know everything about how to govern? As when I began, what did I tell you? I said if I give them a grocery shop, it will go bankrupt. If I give him a university he will not be able to govern it. But what do you think about someone who has 100 million Muslims under him, or 40 million Muslims? What's going on, ya ikhwa? Since when did we become so arrogant? Since when did we become so ignorant as well? Since when did we become people who transgress such bounds? And since when have we become such ignorant people that we don't even realize such a thing? This is ignorance. This is ignorance, ya ikhwa. We don't transgress our bounds. This is my bound. I do not know more than this. Then khalas, alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not burden me with something that is impossible to me, that is more than I can handle.